Mikko Rantanen's revenge tour begins in just a few days as the Dallas Stars are set to face the Colorado Avalanche in the first round of the NHL playoffs in what I consider to be the most evenly matched and most exciting duels that we're going to see in the first round. But who has the advantage? Let's jump into it right off the bat by comparing the teams offensively at 5-on-5, and it is very close. The actual goals scored by Colorado and Dallas is almost identical, and Dallas only has a slight edge when it comes to expected goals for at 5-on-5. But when you look at these two teams, very different approaches in terms of how they score. For Colorado, it's very top heavy with McKinnon and Makar each accounting for at least 90 points and 30 goals this year. But other than those two, the Colorado Avalanche do not have a 50-point scorer on their team. Yes, they got 27 goals from Arturi Lehkonen, and recently acquired Marty Necas has been a point-a-game player. Valdemar Kushkin also scored 20 goals despite only playing in 43 games. And Colorado's prayers are answered as Gabe Landeskog will finally return, but the Avs are going to rely heavily on those two, McKinnon and Makar. On the other hand, Dallas does not have a single 90-point player, but they have a lot more depth throughout their lineups. 5 players with at least 50 points in Matt Duchene, Jason Robertson, Wyatt Johnson, Bahins, and Thomas Harley, but then also 3 other 40-point scorers in Jamie Benn, Mason Marchment, and Evgeny Dadonov. In general, I do like having players who can take over games the way McKinnon and Makar can, but I always worry in the playoffs that if one of those guys goes cold or gets injured, it really screws the team over. And given that Dallas has just overall been better at 5-on-5 as a team, I'm going to give them the advantage when it comes to offense. Now, on the defensive side of the puck, you would be inclined to think that Dallas, with all of its high-end defensemen like Harley, Heiskanen, and Esa Lindell, would be the better defensive team, and they are on paper. However, when it comes to expected goals allowed, the Colorado Avalanche absolutely crushed the Dallas Stars, letting up 25 fewer expected goals over the course of the season. While Makar gets all the headlines on the defense, you forget that they are also pretty loaded on the back end with guys like Devon Taves, Sam Girard, Josh Manson, and the recently acquired Ryan Lindgren. So while I gave Dallas the advantage offensively, curiously, it's going to be Colorado that I think has the advantage on the defensive side of the puck. Now in goal, I thought that this could be a runaway for Dallas. Jake Ottinger has been one of the best goaltenders in the NHL over the last 5 years, and this season he's been his usual self, a .911 save percentage, 2.4 goals saved over expected per 60, and Colorado's goaltending famously struggled earlier in the year before they made a complete overhaul, bringing in Mackenzie Blackwood and Scott Wedgwood. And therein lies a rub, because Mackenzie Blackwood has been fantastic this year, a .248 goals saved above expected and a .912 save percentage, both marks better than Jake Ottinger. However, they're not significantly better than Otters, and just in general, I worry when guys are having breakout seasons and playing way over their skill level. Blackwood has a career .906 save percentage and a GAA barely below 3, and as well as he's been playing this year, I worry that the bottom could fall out at any moment. I have to give the advantage to Dallas and Jake Ottinger. Next up though, we have special teams, and this is where things get very interesting because Colorado has the better power play at a 24.8% effectiveness, while Dallas has a 22.5% effectiveness on the PP. But Dallas has the better PK at 82.1%, while Colorado only kills off 79.8% of the penalties they take. It is very, very close, and it's really a pick your poison of do you want the better power play or PK, and given the fact that these are two of the least penalized teams in the entire NHL, I'm inclined to go with the team with the better power play to take advantage of those situations more often in close games where one goal can be the decider. So I'll give the edge in this category just barely to Colorado. Finally, we go behind the bench, and this is where Colorado really blows Dallas out of the water. Jared Bednar has obviously been one of the best coaches in Colorado Avalanche history, made the playoffs for 8 straight years, won a Stanley Cup. On the other hand, Pete DeBoer, very spotty history, although he has made the playoffs both seasons. He's been head coach of the Dallas Stars, and in fact, he's gotten them to the conference finals both times, where they've lost. While DeBoer is the guy who usually gets his team further in the playoffs, he does have a little bit of a reputation of mismanaging in key situations and wearing out his welcome too soon. I'm inclined to give the advantage here to the Colorado Avalanche, which gives them the advantage in this series barely. I predict that the Avs are going to win 4-3 over the Dallas Stars, but honestly, this series is a coin flip. If you told me that Dallas wins it 4-2, I would completely be fine with that. These are two of the most evenly matched teams in the entire playoff. The Mikko Rantanen aspect only adds fuel to that fire, and I am so excited to watch 7 games of hell between these two incredible teams.